Hey tubers, it's Pop Boys live from the internet. The subject of UFOs has always been controversial. Ever since the beginning of recorded history, UFOs have been hidden in paintings, famous literature, and many famous artists have also been well known for their beliefs in UFOs. To get a look at the subject from the perspective of MUFON, America's premier investigator of the phenomenon, Forbes sat down with the executive director Jan Harzen. Now, you may know MUFON from their Twitter feed or their reports online, but recently they were mentioned in Hangar 1, a popular TV series recently on the History Channel about the organization and its work with explained UFO sightings. In part 1 of the chat, Harzen discusses two big UFO cases and possible cover-ups, of course Roswell, New Mexico, and his personal encounter with a UFO. Jan Harzen explained MUFON as a membership-based non-profit whose mission is the scientific study of UFOs for the benefit of humanity. He went on to explain that they offer a place for the public to report UFO sightings, and then they are assigned to trained MUFON field investigators to contact the witnesses and investigate the reports and determine exactly, what happened. The information is then available to the public. So MUFON actually has over 100,000 cases on file, with the number of course growing every day with the recent explosion in UFO sightings. The number continues to grow. MUFON is 100% publicly funded through two primary sources: their memberships and the donations. Pretty amazing organization to be able to fund itself through these two simple channels. Now, one of the best documented cases of an extraterrestrial encounter is the Travis Walton experience on November 5th, 1975 near Snowflake, Arizona. Travis and his 6 co-workers had just been finished clearing brush in the mountains and were heading back to town when they encountered a glowing silvery disc-shaped craft in the forest. Travis exited the cab of the truck they were in and approached the craft. In doing so, he was struck by a beam of light, knocking him to the ground unconscious. Now, his friends, filled with fear, hightailed it out, but returned a while later to find both Travis and the saucer gone. 5 days passed when Travis suddenly reappeared to tell the story of where he had been. He reported being aboard a craft and seeing creatures that did not look human. All 7 of the crew and Travis took and passed lie detector tests regarding their ordeal. The Travis Walton case from November 5th, 1975 was actually, a movie was created from that experience. I believe it was called Fire in the Sky, which documents that tale. It's actually a pretty scary movie. The second is known as the Rendlesham Forest case involving US military in Suffolk, England. Around 3 a.m. on December 26, 1980, strange lights were reported by a security patrol near the east gate of Raff Woodbridge, apparently descending into the nearby Rendlesham Forest. Servicemen initially thought it was a downed aircraft. Upon entering the forest to investigate, they saw a strange glowing object, metallic in appearance with colored lights. As they approached, it moved through the trees and left 3 impressions in the ground that were visible the next day. One of the servicemen, Sergeant Jim Peniston, later claimed to have encountered a craft of unknown origin and to have made detailed notes of its features, touched its warm surface, and copied the numerous symbols that were on the body of the craft. The object flew away after their brief encounter. The executive director of MUFON, Jan Harzen, also mentioned the real answers they still don't know. One possible reason is because they believe, rightly or wrongly, that Earth's population is not ready for such revelation of extraterrestrials. Other thoughts are that knowledge would create widespread panic, of course crippling the stock market and ending religion as humans know it. Another possible reason is that the technology that aliens have is so far advanced, whether it be faster than light travel, time travel, or other far advanced technology, that it poses a national security threat to Americans, especially if these capabilities were to fall into enemy hands. Another thing to put into perspective, if you are into conspiracies or, if you study NASA at all, you will know that there's a large faction of people that believe that NASA is the whole space program itself is a hoax, that the moon landings never took place, and that we are literally trapped, or humans rather, are trapped in what you would call, I guess, a bubble, or in the Bible it mentions the firmament, which is basically like a dome shield, and many flat earthers believe that that's why we see rainbows, and because we're seeing the light through the prism of the dome. And there is lots of what we'll call internet evidence online that you can check out. Again, if you're a first timer, if not, you've probably, once you begin looking into it, it's kind of hard to stop. It's kind of an ongoing thing that you really just, once you start looking at it, you're kind of, some people can become disbelief. Some people can just really get stuck into it, and eventually they can't really see what's real anymore, whether it's a globe, whether it's flat, whether it's a plane, an ongoing never-ending plane, a spiritual plane, whether it's potentially life could be a simulation, and perhaps we're all aliens playing in a simulator where, much like the movie Avatar, we humans are the avatars, and the aliens the aliens are real, and the humans are the avatars, and we're all just playing a simulator that we become addicted to and perhaps trapped in. It's interesting theories for sure. However, some scientists do believe that the holographic universe is more real, or the theory of the holographic universe matches reality, because if you break down the universe, it does break down into computer language or code. Knowing that, it does raise some pretty interesting questions. Going back to the space program being faked, I've gotten probably several hundred comments on my videos, which I believe are from fake flat earthers. There's two different kinds of flat earthers. There's the real ones, which they're open-minded and they really don't know what to believe, but they're starting to, become aware of this flat earth phenomenon and how it's kind of being pointed out constantly through media, through movies, through TV. There's little hidden implications everywhere that things are not as they appear, or as we've been told. Now, other ways to know whether you're dealing with the real one or not, the fake flat earther will basically, they go onto people's videos, onto their social medias, and they attack anybody who, believes in like NASA or aliens or anything to do with space. If you've watched some of my previous videos, I've mentioned probably in, a couple of them at least, to watch the miniseries called Ascension, which came out a couple of years ago, and I believe that miniseries is actually also pointing out some very large truths, but being told in a different frame, much like Star Trek does in their social dramas, where they're dealing with real life situations that we're dealing with today, but bringing it up in a way that makes it acceptable and actually analyzable by the viewer. So when people negatively comment on your videos, it's important to not take it seriously, as most of these are either just people that are, some of them are actually paid to try to sway the perceptions of others, but a large portion of them are just lonely people who are either not perhaps getting views themselves on their own videos, or basically they are so encapsulated in their own beliefs that they are unable to open their minds and allow others to have their own beliefs. I find it really strange when people become threatened by people's beliefs, whether they have a certain belief in a god or a religion, or I can understand it if you're going and bombing people. Okay, that would be threatening. If you're going and physically, being violent and attacking people, that can be threatening. But if you're so threatened by somebody believing in a god that you don't, by aliens that you don't, by a flat earth that you don't, by a spiritual plane, like, it just doesn't make any sense. This is when people start to feel alien, because this world is alien. It's very strange how we are so quick to judge others. Humans seem to have very large egos. They want to be right. It's almost as if they're preparing so that way they can explain to their judger why they're right and why they deserve something. I can't quite put my finger on why anybody would spend their time trying to even convince others. That's what I mean, put together a video if you're trying to convince somebody of something, or at least open their minds to another way of thinking. All of my videos, I have always explained to do your own research. When I post videos of the NASA live feed showing UFOs, it's up for you to decide whether you believe it's a UFO or not. It's up for you to decide if you believe that NASA is fake and that it's a CGI screen or green screen computer generated imagery that is being put together by specialists faking all of the space program, the landings, everything. We're trapped here. In reality, for the majority of people, and this is why the majority of people don't pay attention to reality, like the actual reality of where we are in our environment, is because it has no impact on our daily lives. We are here. You are on Earth, you cannot leave. So whether it's a globe, a sphere, a pear-shaped oblique object, a flat plane, a flat Earth, you're here, you're not going anywhere. That we can be certain of. So just bear in mind that when you are watching people's videos, don't waste your time. If you have a belief, or if you believe one way, it's one thing to start a conversation. That's what I mean. This is what it's all about. Conversation is excellent when you compare theories, but when you're going to go online and actually start calling people names because they've made a video, it just, what is wrong with you? What makes your opinion worth so much more than someone else's? To me, I would basically be worried about that. Because I think that what you do in your life isn't as much as important as how you make people feel and how you judge and treat others. I believe that in the end that is what's going to be part of your ascension. So if you are judgmental and you are constantly attacking people, you will not leave here. You will stay here. You will relive over and over until you understand that in order to be something greater than you are today, you have to be greater than you are today. Drop the ego, have patience, let people believe what they want to believe, stay open-minded, do your own research, and again, don't judge others. Be real to yourself. And enjoy the views, whether NASA, the ISS, is CGI, or whether there really is a space station circling the Earth underneath the Van Allen belts, which are apparently unpenetratable, yet we were able to land on the moon. Enjoy the views, and if you're interested in that, stay interested in it, and if you're not, Don't watch those kinds of videos. Watch comedy videos. Watch whatever else it is that you're interested in. Watch car videos. Watch Comedy Shorts Gamer. Anyways, enjoy the view. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.